Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classics. That's known classics. This is episode number 2024 and Doubleshot number 1918. I have one Boom Studios trade and one Marvel trade. The Marvel trade is actually not the finale for crossover. I'll get to more of that. First up, we have is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 12 Necessary Evil Part 2. This collect issues 44 to 47. Excuse me. Now, they do bring up this book. They do mention an episode of the series, Green No More, which was an episode from early season 1. No, season 2. Excuse me. Now, there are two big things about this one. Number one, the Mighty Morphin Rangers meets the Omega Rangers for the first time, and two, they also find out who they are under their helmets. It's the three that already left the team: Zach, Jason, and Trini. Yep. So, mostly put, basically, they also took the time, the Omega Rangers took time to capture, the Omega Rangers captured Lord Zed. Don't worry, he gets out, no problem, because he's still needed for the rest to explore stuff during season 2. I mean, the Omega Rangers, interesting idea, like a good concept. It does explain what the heck these were up to after they left the show, because on the screen they said, oh yeah, they went to a peace conference. Here, they actually, they become Rangers again, which is something they don't bring up in the show. It's never original the comic continuity of the show, but that feels like a good idea to do. Yep. So, they deal with that, and of course, Zed just wants to create more Dark Rangers, but the Green Pistol was destroyed. And, by the way, the writer of this book is Ryan Parrott, who ends up being the final writer of this book for a while, before the book comes back just recently for issue 100. Yes. And we also, at one point in the book, it looks like that Kimberly and Tommy are trying. Tommy's trying to get into something a little bit more with Kimberly, but she's not interested in the moment. But this is definitely a really good story here. And definitely can't wait to discuss the very next trade, which is sadly really short. I'm going to give this trade here a 9.5 out of 10. Alright, next up it is The Union, the Britannia Project, which I thought this was the last book, but nope. I actually missed one. There is still one book left to cover this one, and that's Sword. I actually have the trade right here. I will discuss in a future video. Yeah, I know I keep saying, oh, this is the last one. No, this is the last one. I just checked, just to make sure. There is one more left, and then that will be it for King of Black. Now, this book is written by Paul Grist. I believe this may have been his very first... Excuse me. Now, the Union itself was actually published. I believe it was supposed to be published like a year prior, but it got canceled due to COVID stuff. Yeah. Now, the group was basically mostly comprised of British superheroes. Well, Union Jack is the only really familiar one that's here. And he's around since the 80s. This is like 1980. We have first appearance of the Britannia Project, a.k.a. the Union. And here's the thing. They only appear just in this miniseries and one issue of... two issues of Marvels. And that's it. Their creation of Paul Grist. Paul Grist. Surprisingly, the guy hasn't done many comics Marvel. Nope. Aside from his miniseries, all he has written was the Daily Bugle miniseries back in 1997. That was his only book for a long time. Then he did Marvel Comics Spider-Man 1, which came out 2003 years later. And then, this is just a one-shot character appears in the universe called J. Thomas. And after that, nothing. For 21 years. Actually, more like 20 years. It was nothing for 20 years. And then he got this book. Now... Yeah, and the thing is with this group, they just put this miniseries, like I said, just miniseries and like one other book. Yeah, and Empire is supposed to have, I think Empire, which was the previous year's event, I think this book was supposed to be included with that one. Uh, yeah, but they were basically, Marvel changed their minds and made a part of King of Black instead. The first two issues are tie-ins to this particular event. This is most of what they're up to during King of Black. Yeah. Now, the group is comprised of Britannia. That's the woman on the cover. I think that's the one with the shield, right? Let me take a look here. Yeah, where she's here just for the first issue. And then apparently she dies, but she comes back in the end of this miniseries. Yep, you also have the choir. Yes. There's also Kleppy. And snakes. Now, yes. Britannia is the one in the middle. We have Union Jack over here. Tempest, I believe, is the one who's... Kepi is the one with the pink hair. Yeah. And as for the choir, she is the one with green hair. Yeah, that's her right there. On the far left. That's her. And yeah, this was pretty much now, like I said before, they pretty much in the way just got active because of the whole King of Black. So they basically just came together. And then, of course, Britannia dies at the end of the first issue while battling the symbiote stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, like, right after the events of the first two issues, and then it's basically like issues 3 through 5 are just basically like their own story. Mm-hmm. Now, aside from Union Jack, there isn't really like that big of characters. So you have this guy who fights him in here. Basically, they kind of are they disbanded after the events of King of Black. Mostly. Like yeah, basically Union Jack joined the team per se, yes, but for some reason they don't really call Britannia again. It's like they're here for as this miniseries and that's it. Mm-hmm. This guy called Sir James. Mm-hmm. And he's only here just for this miniseries, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And the Doc Croc gang, which appears in this issue here, issue 3, they're led by Doc Croc. And they're only here just for the remaining issues of this miniseries. Because most of the point, it's just basically the Union versus this group, versus gang. And that's pretty much the miniseries right there. You just fight them. They basically try to take them down by the end of the miniseries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course after they defeat them, they want to get in contact with 10 Downing Street. Maybe another issue, but yeah, it's a pretty good miniseries. Mm-hmm. Nothing really terrible here. It's just nothing really at home about with this one. It's not terrible. It's just basically like British superheroes, just published by American Comic Company. Yes. Now you might be curious though. Does Paul Gresta does he do another book afterwards? Yes, he does. He does officially one air comic after this one. One. And that was Heroes Reborn, American Life. That's what basically one came out last year as part of the 25th anniversary of Heroes Reborn. And that's it. Yeah, that's simply it. They don't really do anything with them afterwards. Like, the random stuff only appears like does one book Marvel, and that's it. Yeah, it's like he was just brought in just to do this one miniseries and a one shot, and that's all he did. Yep. Well, I'm gonna give the Union I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty decent book, not terrible per se. But with that, officially as of right now, I know I keep saying last book. No, this is definite. Sword is the last one. That'll be discussed in a later video when I get a chance to read it. But yeah, so next there'll be one more Comic Corner today. That'll be it for Comic Corners. But next video is going to be a review on Bleach. Yep, next video. Bye.